G'day guys, welcome back to TMPNET Projects Not Enough Time. I'm Andrew. Here we are at the lake. Here we are working on Patience, the 101, and we are at the boat shed. There are two boats in here, wooden boats, and but today we're going to get Patience back up and running. Now, when I brought her up here a month or two, couple of months back I guess now, we winterized her up here. Out of that dank, rainy, crappy lower mainland weather in this nice freezing cold down to -50 cold weather up here. But today it's actually a balmy 4 degrees, and I don't know if you can hear it, but the snow is melting like crazy. But by the next couple of days we'll be back down to -20 again, so we're going to get working and get her running today. The first thing I'm going to tackle is I don't know, 6 months ago I was complaining about the generator being really noisy, so I put it in, got the bearings replaced, and my spare one I put in had an electrical issue which was found, so I now have the one that came with it is not in it but is working, so I have a spare generator, 24 volt. But what I did find out was the noisy thing was the bearing inside the tensioner pulley. I don't know why I didn't check this earlier. In my brain I thought I had checked it and written it off the list as possible causes, but that's what it was in the end. So it's a little the bearing in this, I couldn't find it, so we pulled it apart, and with the help of the parts department there at the art shop, we managed to find the bearing in there. You can't really see it, but the bearing inside of this pulley is actually a water pump bearing. With had a long shaft off either side of the bearing, as you do in a water. If you're rebuilding a water pump, I guess only a handful of you have ever rebuilt water pumps. I haven't, but that's what it came out of. So we took it over to another friend. We turned the end of the shaft down that we didn't need, shortened the other one up to the length we did need. Bada bing, bada boom. There we go. Problem solved. New bearing, and let's get this in and see if the old girl will start up and see how those batteries have held up the last couple of months in the cold here. I haven't had it on a trickle charge. I am setting something up. I have a solar panel set up. I'm not sure if I'm going to set that up and charge solar panel charge one battery for 1 month, and that, or every time I come up I'll just switch batteries back and forth. We'll see. We'll see what happens by the end of the week. Alright, jump in the truck with me. We'll get this bolted up, and we'll get it to make some broom broom noises. Alright, so not sure how much you're going to see of this. Got the camera tuned in there, and it's a tiny little hole. Now remember which way up this goes. Alright, this one goes in the bottom. Get that one started. From what we can see there. It's quite surprising with the motor way in the middle here. It's, in one sense, it's actually easier to work on, and then in other senses it's actually quite harder. You can access from the back and lean in from the back, which is pretty nice for working on most stuff on the top of the engine, and then it's surprisingly accessible. But awkward, because you got to be like 3 foot in the air leaning over the seats to get to it. Okay, time for the tensioner bolt. Okay, let's get the 2 belts on. Got 2 belts on this because of the amount of drag that the generator can put on. 1. 2. Now, are these belts matched? I'm pretty sure they're not, unfortunately. You can't really get matched belts anymore. But, alright. Working on a Rover V8, you tend to switch between metric and imperial quite a lot. Get down underneath there. Ugh. Okay, let's see how much juice this baby's got. I think that's everything. That's all we had off the belt. Better. I just love the sound of that Rover V8. Here we are doing a little getting ready and set up for camping. Come spring, we're going to put a bed in the back, have all our camping gear in the boxes. We got the barbecue. Barbecue is put away in the spare tire there. If you want to see how we built this barbecue, go on over to Camp Cracker Tinny and take a look at the video there, how we made the barbecue, and it all fits in the spare tire. Amazing. I think it was totally done because of the military to make things easy to repair on the fly. Access panels to your fuel sender. Further back here is your fuel pump. Right here we have rocking horse poo. As rare as rocking horse poo is a sender unit for a 101. And I found 2, brand new old stock. Unfortunately, I am not selling the second one. It will be kept as a spare, but these just aren't available anymore. Very lucky. Very, very lucky. Okay, so wiring. Green to the flat one, black to the vertical one. I say it out loud on camera so I can remember. I can always go back and figure out what it was if I forget between now and the next 5 minutes, couple of minutes. Yeah, the reason some stuff on the these 101s is really hard to find is because most of the 101s were 24 volt like this one. There's still lots of, well, there's still more 12 volt bits that are compatible with other Land Rovers still around. But this particular one here I think is just purely for the 101. I'm sure there's something else that fits somewhere in the world. In fact, after looking at the box that it came in, it lists actually a bunch of other vehicles that came on. If you need me to share that list with you, if you're looking for one of these, to see what other vehicles you could be looking for, leave a comment below, and I will. I can message you with that copy of the box. All right. Full tank of fuel. I already had taken the float off this because it doesn't do anything anyway. As you can see, kind of skanky old, and this was frozen in place when I first pulled it out, so it really needed replacing, because once we broke it free, it didn't work. Put them all in. Leave them loosey-goosey so the whole thing can wiggle around a little, and then once we got all of them in, then go around and tighten them up. A little bit, a couple goes around, so we don't squish one side of the gasket too much straight up. Sorry, America. Canadian Robertson wins again. Alright, perfect. Oh, wires. Black ground. I think I'm going to put new plugs on when I go back down home. When I take it back down home, I've got to put the proper fuel pump in instead of this inline thing that's in here. And we got an overdrive to put in, but I'm not doing that up here. I'll do it down there. All right, let's go check the gauge and see if we got, if she shows full. Nope. Bugger! Alright, let's take it back out. Put you guys up here. Alright, let's wiggle some wires. Okay, I'm gonna switch them over because this looks like a ground to me, and that looks like a ground to me. I think these are on the wrong side, and when I turn the key, the gauge moves, gauge wiggles, but doesn't do anything. Yep, that needs a new plug when we get back down home. Alright, let's see. I even said ground wire, and I put it on that one, but this is definitely a ground because it's metal on metal to metal to metal to metal. And I think that's our positive to an insulated. I got it figured out. Alright, let's go. Let's go check, guys. My brain was talking, but it wasn't listening to itself. Alright, now let's take a look. Yay! Woot woot! We got a fuel gauge. I'm sure there was a bunch of you watching that video when I was saying negative to this terminal, and you're looking at that going, no! The other one's ground. Let's see. Mouth was moving, but the brain wasn't listening to the mouth. Taking a look, all I had was going on how it was assembled before, and I presume it was correct before, because when I first got it, it was stuck on 1/3 of a tank, and then when I took the then when I filled it up, it was still on 1/3 of a tank. So I took the center unit out, and it was frozen, and I just gave it a slight wiggle and it broke loose, and then from that point on it didn't work. So we got a new one now. That's good. But I probably will, in case some smart little doohickey out there figures out how to rebuild these. I'm sure there's a way. I'll hang on to this as a rebuildable maybe one day if I get desperate, or someone else figures out how to do it and gets desperate. But anyway, there we go. Bearing replaced, engine runs smooth and quiet. The fuel gauge now works, and we still have a big list of stuff to do on this old girl, and looking forward to having her out camping, and in another month or so, 6 weeks maybe, 6 weeks, I'll be putting the overdrive in and more stuff to make her cruise down the highway a little more comfortable. Anyway, thanks for coming. You know what to do with that button down below there. I very much appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. Next time we will be back here in the same spot later this afternoon. And we'll be figuring out why Ivy didn't want to turn left when I pulled her off the trailer when I first got up here with her. I don't know if she wants to turn left anymore or what's going on. So anyway, next video, steering. Thanks guys.